Ladies and gentlemen, what the hell is going on? No, like for real, man. Delta Airlines crash in Toronto leaves plane upside down. I'm just trying to put my mind into these people. I don't know what happened as far as did anybody get injured. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm trying to put my mind into the people who have been watching the news and seeing all these planes go down or just whatever. And then they go, you know what? There's somewhere I gotta be. I gotta get on this plane. They say they prayers, they say whatever. And then this happens. Like, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
The Delta Airlines crash landing in Toronto. We are getting some video in live right now, so we want to pass that along to you. This is courtesy of CTV and showcasing this Delta Airlines flight that is now upside down after a crash in Toronto. This was a version of a situation that happened earlier today. And again, the flight crash landing, it originated from Minneapolis, crash landed here in Toronto. And the best case scenario, though, did happen with all passengers safe, all crew members safe as well. And again, we are bringing this to you here on Live Now.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, was this a emergency landing? Did it mean to land where it was landing, and it just, because I'm looking at all the ice, was this an emergency landing or just a crash landing?
From Fox, as we are seeing more of the emergency crews just centered in around this area in the airport that is no doubt been seeing such a different day than what they could have expected with this crash landing that happened. But again, everyone safe here in this situation. No crew members hurt, no passengers hurt. We are learning some new information, though, that 8 people were injured and taken to a local hospital. So very fluid situation still unfolding right now, as you can imagine. But upside down, this plane is Delta Airlines flight originated from Minneapolis. And we are bringing this courtesy, again, of CTV that is providing this shot right now for us. But here is the airport in Toronto, and you're seeing more first responders there at the scene of looks like a very cold and frigid day there, as expected in Canada. But no doubt, a full-on investigation will be happening. So we are learning of 8 people injured here, unfortunately, in this crash landing. But when you look at the scene here, could have been much worse, though, when you are looking at a plane that is upside down right now and with the wheels up and not on the ground there. That is a sight that's fortunately here, we do not see too often, but unfortunate for the crew and the passengers, and how scary this all must have been as they were coming in for a landing, and then whatever happened, obviously.
Bother my eyes with all that shaking. I mean, like, I've been on a roller coaster way up in the air when it got stuck, but we weren't upside down. I'm just saying, even though they were on the ground, but just imagine you're in there and you're upside down. Now, you don't know if the plane is on fire, if there's a leak. You don't know what's going on, but you're upside down. All the stuff is probably falling. Like, you just don't know. So my whole thing is like, I know it was extreme panic on there. Uh, this is video shaking though, man. It's bothering my eyes. Um, hey.
The investigation will follow, and we'll be getting some details as it unfolds there. But again, this Delta Airlines flight upside down after the crash landing. We are learning of 8 people injured. And again, this is the aftermath here of what had to be a very scary incident that happened on
Let me see another video.
And good day. We are coming on the air with breaking news out of Toronto. Toronto Pearson Airport confirming that a Delta Airlines flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul had a serious incident during its attempted landing in Toronto. The airport issuing a ground stop for all flights there, and it's because of what you see right here. Early images showing the aircraft completely upside down. But the airport authority reporting, and this is incredible, that, quote, all passengers and crew are accounted for. I want to get straight to Tom Costello, our NBC News aviation correspondent. Tom, when you see that picture and you hear from the airport, and again, things are fluid at this hour, that everyone survived, it's quite incredible. What do we know right now? We can clearly see all that snow on the ground.
This is a regional jet. As you may recall, it was a regional jet involved in the incident in Washington a couple of weeks ago. This was a CRJ, a 900, and that means it can carry somewhere between 75 and 80 passengers inbound from Minneapolis into Toronto. Weather at the time, 18 degrees and blowing snow. Apparently, as it came down and landed on the runway, something went wrong, and somehow this plane ended up upside down. Literally, you're looking at the bottom of the plane there. There's an incredible image right there as the plane is upside down. Toronto Pearson Airport firefighters on the scene very quickly and hosing it down. The amazing portion of this, as you mentioned, the airport is tweeting that all passengers and all crew accounted for. And the question is going to be, what happened? Was it in the landing? Was it in, did they hit ice as they were landing and unable to control the plane? There are a lot of unanswered questions right now, but more than anything, I think everybody is grateful, Tom, that nobody has been killed, according to the airport. The Association of Flight Attendants has just tweeted that the union representing flight attendants is responding to an incident in Toronto with Delta Endeavour Flight 4819. That's the regional carrier for Delta. Crews are working this flight. We're working the flight, rather, and there are no fatalities, according to the union. We have had a series of aviation incidents of late, Tom, as you well know. The one here in Washington. We also had a terrible medevac plane crash in northeast Philadelphia with 7 dead there. We had 10 people killed in a crash just off the coast of Nome, Alaska. And now we have this incident. But thankfully, at the moment, no fatalities reported.
And Tom, we just got some new information. NBC News has confirmed that 8 people are injured. We know that one of those 8 is in critical condition right now. You mentioned a key piece of information there. This is Flight 4819. I think that's what you said. This was a CRJ 900. Tom, the airport also tweeting that in the last week, they've gotten about 20 inches of snow, more than they received in all of November, December, and January combined. You can see those piles of snow there. Talk to me about the rescue effort there, because we saw those fire trucks out there shooting what looks like a fire suppressant on top of these planes, but we're talking about freezing conditions out there.
They're going to do that immediately, because if they have a fuel tank rupture, they need to immediately. And by the way, there's some amateur video out there suggesting.
That's what I said. And you're on this plane upside down and you don't know, like, you know what I mean? You got your seat belts on. Boy. Oh, my goodness, man. And shout out to the flight attendants, right? Because their job is to keep everybody calm. And I mean, because, you know, people probably unbuckling, trying to run and jump off. My whole thing is they got to keep everybody calm so nobody's stepping on people and all that. Boy, and then I was looking at some comments here. People were saying like the wings fell off. Am I tripping?
that there was quite a bit of heavy smoke immediately after this incident. Fire crews are going to be at the end or at the point of where that crash has occurred. I think the rule is they've got to be there within, I want to say it's 90 seconds, but I'm not positive. They're all governed by the same FAA, and the FAA regs and the Canadian regs are the same. They've got to have a very robust fire response very quickly. But that's amazing. You've got everybody out and some injuries, but no fatalities. It is, as we mentioned, this is operated by Endeavor. And as you know, most of the airlines have a kind of a subcarrier, if you will, that handles the regional flights. So that appears to be what that is. Then a regional flight for Delta Airlines, Minneapolis to Toronto in pretty rough landing conditions, insofar as the snow on the ground. Anyway, Tom.
Tom, stand by for us. I want to get right to our NBC News aviation analyst, John Cox. John, the two big questions here. First, how do you think this plane flipped over, right? And the second question, after you answer that, walk our viewers through what the protocol is to get all of the passengers out safely, along with the crew and the pilots, because we saw that video of people coming out from an upside-down airplane there at Toronto Pearson.
Well, there's a couple of things here. If you look at this video, you'll see that the right wing, a significant portion of the right wing is missing. And that indicates that's what allowed the airplane to get upside down or inverted. So that's going to be one thing the investigators look at. You can also see that the exits are open. So once this airplane came to rest, and it was going relatively slowly when all of this occurred, because it's still in one piece. So that once it came to rest, it let the flight attendants get those exits open and get the people out. And as far as the weather conditions, it was quite gusty. So this would have been a challenging environment for any of the airplanes landing at Toronto. So the question is, what happened here? There's flight data recorders. Thankfully, there's crew that they'll be able to interview. So it's going to take time, but the investigators will learn what happened here.
And
look, man, that might be it for me. I mean, as of today, I do not feel comfortable ever getting on a plane again. Just being real with you, because all this stuff I'm seeing and hearing about is just going to be in the back of my head. And I'm sure most people, they know about all the flights that's been going down, and you know, they get on a plane and say, you know, hey, it is what it is. They gonna fly, they gonna do whatever, and then it happens again. And you know, it's almost like I would love to see how these people like talk to them. Like how like do you think you'll be able to get on a plane again? Because like I told you, my wife coworker, when that plane where that door flew off, he was on that plane, and she said he hasn't got on a plane since. And he was already kind of like sketchy about flying. So my whole thing is like, I mean, we done seen a plane go into the ocean. We done seen planes going to the street. I mean, just this visual right here of seeing this thing upside down. We done seen a plane get hit by a helicopter. It's like, come on, man. You know, everybody in the comments, most people are just saying, what is going on? Like, hey, appreciate y'all coming over, man. Hoping for a speedy recovery for all these, the people who got injured, man. Golly. All right, peace out.